Hello, toy fans. I'm here with another one of our reviews. Now, this is one that I built live. I was on with my good friends Ashley, M, and Banglish Bricks on TikTok. I was building this thing. I think I even altered mine a little bit as well because I had also put in the the cherry blossom, which was a pretty good build. I'm ready to take these apart and start working on some trees, but I came across this set here that was the Plum Blossom, and it's a part of the. It's a bigger set, around $30. Is it worth $30? Well, that's what we're going to get into, right? So we want to talk about it. Now. If you're a flower person and you like the flower arrangements, you like that sort of thing, this is probably right up your alley. For me, it's okay. There's some quality stuff in here, and there's some quality parts I want to build with. Overall, I think it's a beautiful set. I think it's the build on it is pretty nice. There's a few frustrating things here and there, but all in all, it is a beautiful build, okay? So, let's start off by looking at the box. So on the box, we do have that it's a part of the Lego Botanicals. We do know that this is set 10369. It is an 18 plus set. Lots of small pieces in there, so it's definitely one of those that's going to take some time. It's not the biggest botanical set. It's also not the smallest. We do have some of the what you think of as like botanicals, but not botanicals, more like the flower things, like the cherry blossom, that sort of thing. They're all sorts of builds, but this is the one that comes in the black box that actually says botanicals. This is within the botanicals line. It says 18 plus. You know what? I think some 15-year-olds could probably make this. It's pretty good for teenagers. I could get behind that easily. We do get the plum blossom up at the top. We do see that's 327 pieces. That's something to keep in mind. As you're spending $30, you're kind of pricing yourself down here, or I should say, 372 pieces for $30 doesn't seem quite right now, especially dealing with other brands like Lumabricks and such that have a higher quality piece counts and they're a little bit different. However, this is more of a model. It's going to be a little bit different than what we get. Now, going to the side, we get a bunch of legalese, la fleur de prunière, fleur de sorello, etc., etc. Pardon my French, it's not very good. Of course, we get all this stuff on here. On the back, we do get, of course, a picture of our flowers. The actual Lego build of the botanicals as well as the picture of the actual flowers. This thing is 13.5 inches tall, 6.5 inches wide. So it's something to keep in mind if you're wanting to put it on a display case. On the other side, we do get some pictures of the flower based part of the botanicals. On the top, we get a one-to-one scale of what the buds look like, some more of the flowers that extends from that picture. And then on the bottom, just in case you need it, there's your UPC. I'd say that's enough. All right. So we know that you're not here for the box. That's always the case. I always do this. Instead, we're going to trade you out with the booklet. Now, this does come in 3 bags. The book is, in my opinion, rather small, but it works out. Of course, we get some about the plum blossom. So it talks about how the plum tree flower has long been a popular motif in traditional arts. In the tradition that spans more than 1,000 years, often portrayed in ink and wash paintings amidst a classic quartet of beautiful plants known as the flower gentlemen, or the four gentlemen, with the four noble ones. Together they represent the virtues and continuous circle of the 4 seasons: the plum tree winter, the orchid spring, the bamboo summer, and the chrysanthemum, which is autumn. And I'm actually looking for that chrysanthemum. Sprouting its vibrant crimson blossoms in the coldest months. The plum tree reminds us that our inner beauty and grace in times of adversity. I got lots of inner beauty. Look at this guy. Hello. And then, of course, we get an ink wash of the plum blossom. So, some cool stuff. They talk about the creativity of nature. So, there's like lots of extra reading up on it for the botanical sides of things. Overall, as far as the build's pretty solid. Not too bad. When you get up to the stems and you start getting to the technic pieces, it's one of those where you could start making mistakes. I did find myself a few times having to go backwards to fix a few things. But like I said, there's only 3 bags, and you do get a little bit of pieces left over. Not much, but you do get some extra pieces that you can build with down the road. Now, for me, this build is probably going to end up being a part of a tree. So I don't know how well I really want to keep it on the end of the flower, right? So for me, it's like, well, I don't think I'm going to keep it that way for long. And I know, I do this a lot, but that's a part of building Lego City stuff that you've got to look at. Now, all in all, let me get the cherry blossoms out of the way there. All in all, this is a pretty solid build. I liked it a lot. I love the vase on this. The vase is absolutely, let me pull it forward so you can see. The vase was a beautiful part of the build. I enjoyed that one very, very much. The actual flowers and the blossom portion of itself is really cool. They do have this thing, so at the very end, and I'm going to put my little canister here. At the very end, they say to take all these 1x1 studs and pour them into the vase. I don't care much for that. I don't like having loose Lego parts in anything. So for me, I'm not going to put it in there. However, you do get a lot of this build here as far as its beauty. It is, however, rather one-sided. And let me show you what I mean. We got all this, all this, all this. You go to the back, and there's nothing. That's just something to keep in mind. You've got a lot of flowers. All the flowers are facing forward. You're not going to really see any of this. Or let's just say when you display it, you're really not going to want to display it that way. All in all, I think it's a great build. I think it's beautiful. Like, it's really nice. There's a part of me that's kind of torn about trying to take this apart and build trees out of it. I saved the booklet. I saved this stuff. I can always go back to it and rebuild it again. It's a solid build. It's nice. It's a fun build. It's a great model build. So it's definitely one of those that's worth your while. Is it for little kids? No. Is it for preteens? Maybe. There is some technicality to it. There's no illegal brick building parts to it. So you're not having to worry about stressing anything. But there is a small, minute, pin a flower onto this, pin a flower on this, count, figure out your technique stuff, etc. That it does take a little bit more Model S brain power to figure out what you're doing. I was on live when I did it, and I still made mistakes, and it happens. That's just the nature of this. It's a solid build. I do like it. I will say, however, one thing is that I think not having anything on the back really is where this thing does not shine. And that's one of those parts that's like, I'm not too keen on that. I'd much rather had something on the back. Now, I did in the build, I actually had mine set up to where I put the cherry blossom in there, and I found a way to shoehorn it in and put it in there. It actually works really, really well. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can do that real quick. So what I did is I pulled this stem out. I'm going to end up turning that around. I took my cherry blossom. Now I did alter it by putting a little peg stem and a workable Technic peg in there. So I put it in here like this. I put this on the back. And then you've got your plum blossom with your cherry blossom. And, it makes it taller, makes it more full, makes it fun in my opinion. Honestly, if I was to keep it like this, I would probably display it like this on like a shelf or a cabinet. I like this look a lot. It works well with the cherry blossoms. So if you like plum blossoms, you like cherry blossoms, you can put the two together. Pretty quality stuff. If you like plum blossoms on their own, still an incredibly quality building set to do. If you like cherry blossoms, just get the cherry blossom set. You don't need this. However, you can always take the plum blossoms out, find a way to peg the cherry blossoms in, and still have a pretty good stand. The actual vase on this is perfect. And I would pick up another botanical set just for the vase work itself. The way it's built and the way it's put together is beautifully, beautifully rendered. This might be something that I might actually look down the road, maybe buy another one, maybe a few of these. I would be cool with having this in my classroom or even out on some shelves because they do look nice. That's all I got to say about the Lego Botanicals Plum Blossom. A solid build. Whew. I happen to like this one quite a bit. I think it's a lot of fun. I really do. I think it's one of those that I think it's one of those that it's worth picking up, especially if you like model stuff, you like working with your hands, you like working with little things. So I definitely say it's worth it. $30 is a little steep. If you can get it on sale, I would try to get it on sale. But $30 again for this, not too bad, especially for the parts that we're getting. Now that's all I gotta say about the about our plum blossom. I think it's kind of cool. I love it. Thank you all for showing up and checking out this review. I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build and happy hunt with the brick hunt.